All right, let's jump right in. We're about to connect two things you probably never thought were related: the incredible magic of generative AI and the basic laws of our economy. Yeah, you heard that right. It turns out that the very same algorithm that can whip up a piece of art from nothing, well, it might just be the blueprint for civilization itself. You know, the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman once said something really profound. He said that nature weaves its patterns with these super long threads. So if you can just grab one of those threads, one small piece of the fabric, you can start to understand the whole tapestry. And for us, today, that one little thread we're going to pull on, it's generative AI. I mean, just think about it for a second. You type a crazy prompt into a machine, a photorealistic astronaut riding a horse on Mars or something. And this AI, it starts with what looks like pure random TV static, and somehow it turns that chaos into a masterpiece. It absolutely feels like magic, right? But it's not. It's a process, a very specific and unbelievably powerful algorithm. Okay, so here's where we take a huge leap. What if I told you that this process isn't just a neat trick for making cool pictures? What if it's the fundamental algorithm for creation itself? A process that's been running our entire economy, like forever, just hiding right there in plain sight. So this process actually has a name. It's called a diffusion model. And the wild thing is, it's not something we really invented. It feels more like we just discovered it. Like we stumbled upon nature's own universal method for creation, a trick the cosmos has been using for like 13 billion years to pull order out of complete chaos. So how does it work? Well, you can think of it like a two-step dance. First, you have what's called the forward process. Imagine taking a perfect crystal clear image and just systematically destroying it. You add a little bit of random noise, then a little more and more, until all you've got left is static, total chaos. But, and this is where the real magic is, the AI learns to do that dance in reverse. It starts with nothing but that pure noise, and guided by your prompt, it starts taking these tiny, intelligent steps backward. Step by step, an image emerges from the chaos. Okay, so an AI making art, cool. But how on earth does this connect to the economy? Well, get ready for it, because here's the big reveal. Our economy, the whole thing, operates on this exact same principle. It is a generative engine. Think about it. The economy starts with this incredible chaos, this noise of billions of human desires, all competing, limited resources, new technologies popping up everywhere, and somehow, out of all that mess, it generates coherent order. I'm talking about things like prices, entire companies, global supply chains. These things don't just appear out of thin air, they are generated. Look, if you remember one thing from this, let it be this. The economy isn't just about money or stocks or jobs. At its absolute core, it is a machine for turning chaos into order, and it's guided by the compass of human intelligence. But here's the thing. This generative process, it's not magic. It's a real physical computation. And just like any engine, for it to run without completely falling apart, it has to follow some rules. 3 non-negotiable physical laws. You can almost think of it like the manufacturer's specification sheet for a reality that doesn't collapse on itself. And believe me, the cost of breaking these laws is huge. First up, you've got the law of flow. Simple idea. Value has to circulate. If it gets hoarded in one place, the system dies. Look at the ancient city of Cahokia, once bigger than London, but it was abandoned because wealth got concentrated and just stopped flowing. Then there's the law of openness. Any closed system is doomed to decay. Tokugawa Japan completely sealed itself off from the world for over 200 years. The result? Total technological stagnation. When Commodore Perry's ships arrived, they were literally still fighting with medieval swords. And finally, you have the law of resilience. Diversity is what creates stability. We learned this the hard way with bananas, of all things. The entire global industry was built on one single type of banana. So when a single fungus showed up, the whole thing was wiped out. See, these aren't just interesting history lessons. They are physical laws in action. So, okay, what does all this actually mean for us? How does this change how we study and maybe even shape our world? Well, it means we have to stop just observing the economy from a distance and start really understanding how it's built from the ground up. For like 100 years, economics has been a science of inference. It's like trying to understand the rules of baseball by just looking at a few box scores from last year's games. You're just reading shadows on a cave wall, guessing at what's really happening. But this new idea, let's call it intelligent economics, is a science of generation. It's not about guessing the rules based on the outcome anymore. It's about defining the fundamental rules for all the players in the game and then hitting play on a simulation to see what kind of future actually emerges. We get to stop being detectives and we can finally start being architects. And really, this is the ultimate payoff, the big takeaway, the rules that run our economic lives. They're not some deep, unknowable mystery we can only guess at. They are physical laws, just like gravity. And you know what happens when we understand a law like gravity? We can use it to build things we never, ever thought were possible. And that leaves us with one last and pretty profound question. For maybe the first time in all of human history, we don't just have to accept the economy we're given. We now have the tools and the understanding to actually build the game itself. So the real question is, what kind of economy are we going to choose to generate?